Which is going to bring us to our next game, which is honestly a really interesting one because it's the only unranked matchup that we're picking this week. But you've got Deion, Prime, Colorado Buffaloes playing in Lincoln against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Classic rivalry matchup between the Buffaloes and Cornhuskers. A big battle between possible Heisman contender and proven quarterback Deion Sanders. And by the way, my dynasty on CFP 25, first year, 24, yeah, Shedeur won it. Doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying because CFP likes to put out some crazy storylines. And the highly touted freshman Patrick Mahomes-esque quarterback Dylan Raiola from Nebraska. The Nebraska Stadium is not the most hostile. However, it could be a tougher environment than normal with a 1-0 win streak on the line. With these offenses being so explosive, the defenses being soft, it could be a very high-scoring game. Knowing how Colorado plays, that's a very good possibility. ESPN FPI has Nebraska at 60%. The TBD model has Colorado by 1.5, but the spread has the Huskers in Nebraska by 7.5. It's Sanders versus Rule, who obviously had a horrid NFL stint with the Panthers. Might I plug that? But who comes out on top? Mason, who you got?
This is going to be a really good match. I'm actually really excited for this one because, like you said, we do have Deion Sanders, who had a really good year last year, a lot of yards, makes big passes, reads the field extremely well. And then you've got, this new hotshot, Dylan Raiola, who's highly touted. He plays very much like Patrick Mahomes, is able to make plays. Now, we've only seen him play in one game, and it was against a lower-tier school, right? But Nebraska did win that game. They won it by a lot. So I think this one will be a good one, and I'm really excited to see it. But I don't think it'll be close. I got Colorado in this one. I think Shedeur and Deion come out, and I think they outcoach Matt Rule in their own field. Nebraska actually lost this game last year. Now, to be fair, they didn't have Dylan Raiola at quarterback in a reloaded defense like they do this year. But I will say if Nebraska can keep Travis Hunter locked down and keep pressure on Deion Sanders and stop the run, they'll be able to win this game easy because Colorado's defense is still on the rebuild. However, that high-powered offense could definitely win this game for the Buffaloes, which is why I'm picking them.
Look, I just have to out and say this. Something makes me very uncomfortable with how Patrick Mahomes-esque this guy is. I mean, he's gotten it down to the haircut, the beard trim, the sunglasses, the gear he wears in game. Like it's a little much. Okay, he is talented. Don't get me wrong. It's something about it just makes me uncomfortable. I will say though, Nebraska does have a good defense. They had a decent one last year. It kind of fell apart later in the season. But that's also because they had no offense to support that defense. Meanwhile, Colorado, just like last year, great offense, maybe not offensive line, but great offense, no defense. So when it comes down to it, what wins the game? Travis Hunter and Shedeur are two amazing talents. Nebraska is still figuring out what their offense is going to be behind this Patrick Mahomes-esque guy. And again, a talented defense. I'm going to have to go with Nebraska. I think when it comes down to it, with the no defense by Colorado and an up-and-coming offense against a team who has a defense where you just struggled against North Dakota State, yes, one of the best FCS teams in the FCS, it kind of gives you a little worry.
So let me just say that I may or may not have gone to DraftKings during the last Colorado game against North Dakota State. I'm going to be honest. Actually, I think it was FanDuel. It doesn't matter. Nonetheless, I got to say, man, I like Colorado. I really do. I like the Buffaloes. I have a little bit of a bad taste for Matt Rule, his time with the Panthers. But I think that as a whole, I like Colorado. They looked really poor against North Dakota State, though, and no disrespect, but North Dakota State's a great FCS team. But when you have Deion Sanders as your coach, and you have his son playing quarterback, and you have all the talk that surrounds these guys in Boulder, and all the hype, and you got your own captain's patches, and all the other things that come along with it, I don't care if it's North Dakota State or if it's FCS Southeast. You should win considerably, and they did not. With that said, this is a very tough one. I like Colorado in this one. I think that I don't know that they cover the spread, 7.5 points. I would say probably by a touchdown, maybe a field goal. It will be a high-scoring game. I like the Buffs in this one, a very tough one, but I think Deion and the boys go into Lincoln, get this one done. But who knows? Mason and I will either be really good in this set or we'll be really bad. Doesn't matter. I've got the Buffs.